Okay, today is the day. I've been waiting for this day for, I think, 14 days. So I've just, this morning, received an email from Spitfire Audio. Dear Mark, your purchase of BBC Symphony Orchestra Discover is ready to download. Woohoo! So this is a new library from Spitfire Audio, and it's a cut down version of one of their bigger BBC libraries. But they gave it away if you did an online survey, which I did, and now you had to wait 14 days. So yeah, today's the day. Let's A, download it, and B, let's write some horror music. Can't think of a better way to test the library. All right, we've got a new Reaper project, Discover Horror 1. I just loaded up Felt Piano again from another Spitfire product, which is actually already there because this is a sort of a very basic template. So there it is. I've got my VSTIs selected. So there it is. And it's all installed through the Spitfire sort of app. This is what it looks like. So what you'll see, the kind of visual appearance is mirrors the organisation of a orchestra. So I'm thinking this is violas, cellos are here, double basses are here. Yeah, what's we got here? Trumpets, tenor trombones, bass trombones, tuba, typical brass section. Oh, percussion, nice. Tune percussion, harp and celeste, very nice. French horns, yeah. And then woodwind should be here. We've got piccolo, flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon. Let's take a listen to bassoon, and I've got long and staccato. I do love a bassoon. If I press this button, you'll hear this. That's pretty good. And let's try an oboe. So this is an oboe section rather than a solo instrument. Do we have choices? I don't think we got choices. I think we get the ensemble, and we get long or staccato. Obviously, if you had a more substantial product, yeah, okay. So this is, okay, I see. So they've got the similar kind of browser. Yeah, just oboes. Yeah, so I've just got one patch for oboes. Okay. I'd rather have a solo oboe, but let's not forget, whole orchestra, a free product. I think if you don't do the survey, you can get this for like 50 quid. A harp and a celeste for the horror track. Boom, right there. Horror, harp and celeste. Here we go. Okay, let's try and write something. Alrighty, it's now Monday lunchtime-ish, bank holiday Monday today. So I've been working on a piece of music using the BBC Discover library, not all day Saturday and Sunday, but on and off Saturday and Sunday. So there's now a finished piece of music. And I tried to sort of pick out, use as much of the library as I could in the piece of music, sort of show off its capabilities. Let's have a look. Now I've got everything arranged in folders, which Reaper allows me to do. And the only thing, so I have got a piano, which is Felt Piano, which again it's another Spitfire product. This isn't part of BBC Discover. BBC Discover library doesn't come with a piano, but then that's fair enough, because pianos, although it's like it's a common thing to find in orchestra, like traditionally it was never like a member of the core orchestra. But I just had it in the template, so I used it anyway. Let's start with the wind. And with the wind, there is a piccolo, there's flutes, there's clarinets, oboes, and there's bassoon. So it's like a full typical wind section. I'm trying to find a piece. Let's just solo the wind. Oh, here we go. This looks like the wind are playing all together. Really, really, really nice sounding. Really nice sounding wind. So it's a wind section, I think I've said previously. Piccolo, flutes. Nice clarinets. Lovely. Yeah, I think the oboes are fine. For me personally, I just like the sound of the solo oboe. I think more than that sort of oboe section. But there we go. Remember, this is it's a free library if you do the survey. Bassoon's actually really nice. Really, really nice. So that's the wind section. So really, really happy with that. And it just gets better. Brass is, let's find a nice section where the brass are playing all tutti together. Brass again sounds great. Just now, yeah, with the brass, obviously French horns, trumpets. With the trumpets, you don't get any mutes. Let me just, you get staccato or long in terms of the voicings or the styles. You do get trombones and bass trombones as a separate sample, and tubas as well. So that's really nice. Actually, I don't particularly like that part of the composition. How good does that sound? Just really, really happy with them. Again, they're sections, so no solo voicings, but they're just, yeah, they're great. Strings, yeah, my violins, I've not got them in a folder, and I haven't. So actually, I mean, while we're talking about longs versus shorts, I haven't actually looked at any of the short styles or voicings or playing techniques. This is pretty much only looking at the longs in here. I might do it. Well, yeah, I mean, just I wanted to be a bit sensitive to the piece of music. This is violins, just really nice. We've got spiccato, pizzicato, and tremolo. So really nice options there now. And for example, with the viola, we have a pretty nice trem viola, which I think is playing at 1. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Cellos are all good. Bit of cello pizzicato there, just great. Bass, beautiful pizzicato. Just brilliant. The bowed bass, arco double bass, is pretty gnarly. But oh yeah. I can definitely live with that. Definitely live with that. Let's just put up the bass long, and again, so we've also got spiccato, like a sort of more staccato voicings there, and of course the pizzicato, which we're hearing. Really simple controls on these. Just select your section, and you've got these. This is reverb, and what are they? I forget what they're calling this. Dynamics and expression. And what I've been finding is I've been pulling these from the default sound, just pulling these down to about 50-60%. But obviously we can automate those with automation if we want. So we can vary the performance style even further. Yeah. Now, for me, the real star of this, and if you were to buy this for $50, for me, the star is the percussion, which you might not get in another library. Listen to this Celeste. How good is that? Just brilliant. Timpani has its own, its own sort of voice section. There are no, I didn't find any, but I don't think there's any like weird timpani effects where, sort of playing the timpani pedal while playing, and I don't think there's any rolls either. So it's basic, it's your basic, very basic timpani sample, but in terms of the quality of the sound, totally usable. And it's a pitched sample, so you can imagine play it like a piano if you want. And untuned percussion, there's a great variety: triangles, castanets, tambourines, side drum, bass drum, vibra-slap, did I say castanets, woodblock, various. I think there's a crash cymbal, a suspended cymbal, and there's a gong as well. So like a lot of good side drum or tom. Yeah, there's a side drum. No, the castanet. For all of the voicings responding really nicely to the MIDI velocity, so you can have the velocity really low to get a nice sort of quiet note, and they'll like max to 127 if you want to, insanely loud, which is nice. So within this piece there are quieter sections and there are louder sections, but again, one could use automation to sort of play with that, with those dynamics even further. All in all, it's a fantastic sounding library, just the whole orchestra playing. You hear that tremolo there? Yeah, it's a pretty great sounding piece of software, to be honest. I can't complain. I mean, it's free, right? So obviously I'm not going to complain. So it's pretty great. So in summary, it covers an entire typical orchestra, not so much special effects or weird sort of playing styles, no calling, no in the strings, for example, but there's way plenty to get your teeth into, to do like sort of orchestral music. Just a note, if you're going to dig in to write an orchestral piece of music, just bear in mind the task ahead of you. A typical orchestra has a lot of instruments, and if you imagine those instruments can be played with multiple different styles. I mean, just basic, the basics, fast articulation like staccato articulation, and a slow, more legato articulation. So if you imagine every section times 2, and for the strings you've maybe got 3 articulations. So to sit down, you are going to be dealing with kind of huge tracks, and musically, you need to keep a track of sort of where you are melodically, chordally, tonally. Yes, it's quite an undertaking. But yeah, there we go. The only other thing I wanted to say, I got my performance meter open. So when I did a mix down of this last night, this was peaking to about 98%. If you go to play that same section again at 4, 60%, 67, 70, 73, 72. So you need a little bit of grunt. I think the library is only 200 megabytes, which sounds insanely small. That does sound insanely small, but it's a really efficiently put together library. I think it's like 200 or 300 megabytes. So in terms of hard drive space, you're grand. In terms of CPU, you need a little bit of grunt. I'm running this on an oldish MacBook Pro. If you have any computer for the last 2 years, 3 years probably would be fine. If you're finding issues with your CPU, think about splitting up your files and maybe having a wind version, a brass version, and a string version, and then you can sort of comp those together with stems if you're having issue with CPU. Anyway, there we go. I'll comp this together and put some old footage together. I was watching, I walked with the zombie the other day. It was on BBC iPlayer. So I think I'll cut together some footage and put this track together with that. All right, any questions, put them in the comments. Cheers.